Shall we talk about the main event itself? Because
yes,
we are differing on this. So I thought it was a home run segment. I thought that the drama was incredible. I thought that the performances by everyone involved in this segment, questionably Brandy Rhodes, because I think that just asks more questions than it does leave answers. And I thought the drama was incredible. I thought the emotion from the crowd was so real. Everything about this felt so real and genuine. It was played to absolute perfection. It just did nothing for me. Going into this segment, I loved Cody and I hated MJF. But this segment didn't make me hate MJF more, and it didn't make me love Cody more either. I got the same level of interest going into their Revolution match than I did when I went into this segment. So while I do, the segment was an absolute masterpiece, it just did nothing for me.
It definitely did do something for you because it filled 20 minutes of your life in a very enjoyable way.
Well, okay, yes.
But it didn't add to this feud.
And I didn't get the same level of emotion that I think I was supposed to get from it, which is I'm supposed to come out of this being like, oh man, I just really hate that MJF. Whereas I came out being like, yeah, MJF's a bit of a knob. I
don't disagree with you. What could they have done that would have made you get into it to the level you think?
So I think this is just, it's a different mentality, I guess. This is a very old school segment. This is very like 70s, 80s wrestling.
Yeah,
and I think just sort of, 2020 has been 40 years since that sort of thing has been popularized. Maybe he just didn't have that same, and it should have done because he had pure welts on his back, but actually it felt less brutal than the Daniel Bryan Fiend match, which actually felt way more gimmicked. Like that didn't have the emotion that this had, but yet that one came across like it was more physical and more dangerous.
I totally get what you mean. Yeah. It's like the emotion was there. I'm into all the characters. Just to briefly recap the way they structured this, which was just so well done. Yeah. They almost had a different spot for each whip. So first whip, and then a bunch of heels come out. You've got Butcher, Blade, a few of the Inner Circle to watch because they're like evil heel stuff. And then second or third whip, you get Arn Anderson comes out. And then you get Dustin Rhodes come out. It's like
Dustin Rhodes gets in and begs to take the rest of them.
Beautiful. And MJF's like, no. Bucks come out at one point. And then, I agree, the Brandy Rhodes was a mistake because it's just too muddled and you're effectively saying, this is real.
The other stuff
isn't. That's just really misjudged.
Yeah.
Then you get Wardlow. So, and at the end, you've got these 10 whips. Well, I think it might be because the most famous whipping angle in my mind is the kendo stick Tommy Dreamer one in ECW. And that is so much more brutal than this.
Yeah.
Like 3-4 times more brutal. And this one probably hurt more because kendo sticks are a bit flimsy and they're gimmicked to fall apart. So weirdly, you're in a position where your body takes more punishment, but it doesn't feel as visceral as something from 25 years ago. And we've also had 25 years of gradual audience desensitization.
Yeah.
So yeah, it didn't feel brutal. I loved it all, but but unfortunately, the bloodthirst in me, I was far more affected by the teeth falling out.
Yeah,
which was so fake.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah.
I'm like, Cody legit took those belt whips.
Yeah.
He put the picture, you could see it was bleeding from the back from a belt.
Yeah, and like when Moxley stabbed Santana in the eye, and then the promo he cut later on in the show, I was like, woof, man, that's a fiery promo. I'm so excited for that match next week. And that was 100% fake. Like, the replay they showed, they picked the worst angle possible where he very much stabbed him in the forehead. So, yeah, I don't know what they could have done to kind of change my mind on this. But as I've kind of said since the announcement of this, I've never had the whole, that's going to be so violent and it's going to be so brutal to watch. I've never had that emotion from it. And yet, weirdly, and it's just a bizarre thing, because the other thing I was thinking of today was, at MediaCon the other year, when we had Sami Callihan versus Jimmy Havoc, and we were like, oh man, it's going to be a violent and brutal match. And there's so much stuff in that is just so wonderfully worked, and it's just, not painful whatsoever. But we're still there going like, oh my God, blah, blah. As you said, this is all real. This is genuine whips. But I know it was like, I was like, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take my notes.
It is a real curious one because I loved it. You called it a home run of a segment. I agree, but it was the sort of violence aspect of it was outdated, I suppose.
Yeah.
Maybe they weren't trying to go for that though. Maybe they were. They really did just want the emotion of the characters and stuff.
Yeah. I'd love to pick Cody's brain about this. I really would, because I really love Cody's mentality, which is, hey, like, no one does 80s wrestling anymore.
Yeah.
So let's do some 80s storylines. And this is a proper 80s style storyline. You can't touch me. You're going to get 10 lashes live on TV. Then you're going to have a steel cage match that's going to build to our singles match. Like,
there's a diamond ring in there.
There's a diamond.
Somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. And all this. Like, it's such an 80s simple storyline. And that's what I really respect about Cody. And I really, really like that about his booking style. So I'd really love to sit down and pick his brains over this.